that anymore, then who the hell am I? I head out to the hotel parking lot and sit down on one of those little bumpers they put at the end of a parking spot. As I'm sitting there, waiting for my dad to finish getting ready, Mariah calls me on FaceTime. She hasn't spoken to me at all since the game, ignoring my texts and calls for more than a day. Knowing something is wrong as I pick up my phone, I brace myself for a hard conversation. But when I see her face on the screen, I can tell it's worse than I thought. Tyler, I can't do this anymore. It's the first thing she says. I'm speechless. You're not being a good boyfriend. I try to think of a way to respond, but I'm so tired from the drive and a horrible night's sleep, and I'm so upset about my shoulder that I just stay quiet. The simple truth is, she's right. I'm not, and I know it. For a long time leading up to this, I've been a terrible boyfriend to her. I've been immature, and I haven't dedicated myself to the relationship in the same way she has. For the last few months, I've been treating her wrong, talking shit to my buddies about our relationship, looking at other girls on social media, not putting energy into her or giving support. She deserves so much better than what I've been giving, and yet, this moment still comes as a shock, a devastating one. She dumps me, right there on FaceTime while I'm sitting on the ground in a parking lot in the middle of nowhere. When I hang up the phone, I feel like I've been beaten up, now emotionally as well as physically. I look up at the little 2-story hotel where we were staying and feel a knot rising in my throat. All I want is to go home and go to bed, to put a blanket over my head and never come out. But instead, I'm stuck driving through the middle of Texas with my dad on a road trip to absolutely nowhere. When we get into the car, I tell him what happened. He starts to laugh. Well, you got me beat, son, he says. The Dolphins cut me on a Wednesday, and my girlfriend cut me on a Friday. At least I had 2 days to recover, but you got hurt and then dumped the very next morning. I've heard this story before, but now it hits home a little more than it used to. The parallel is so striking. I can see why he's laughing. After a few miles on the highway, my dad falls asleep, again, and stays that way for most of the drive. From Austin, where we started our trip, it takes us 9 hours to get out of Texas. I spend most of the time trapped in my own head. How can I get Mariah back? Where did it go wrong? Who am I if I can't play football? How did I get here? What the hell am I going to do with my life? I get deeper and deeper in my thoughts. As we drive farther and farther west, I am more miserable than I've ever been. Our first stop outside Texas is White Sands, New Mexico. I put on a brave face, I take pictures and post them on my social media, trying to pretend everything is okay. But the truth is, I'm completely heartbroken. I need advice on how to move forward. My dad and I don't talk much about relationships, this one with Mariah included. I'm the oldest of 3 brothers, and since my dad and I don't usually get too deep in our conversations, I've never had a built-in role model to ask these kinds of questions. From a young age, I learned to keep my feelings to myself and figure things out on my own. We drive across New Mexico, through Arizona, all across the Southwest. It's the ideal road trip. The drive through this part of the country is gorgeous, but I'm not able to enjoy myself. The landscape is beautiful, some of the most stunning scenes you could imagine, but it's like I can't really see it. My mind isn't there. Every night I call Mariah and beg her to talk to me, to take me back, to give me another chance. Every night she says, "No, Tyler, I can't." It goes on this way for a week. Finally, my dad and I arrive in Utah. I've already been here. I had visited once the year before. On both occasions, the scenery takes my breath away. The bright rock formations belong more on Mars than on Earth. And the sky is just so big. My dad hasn't been anywhere out west before, so the whole trip I've been telling him, we gotta go here, you gotta see this. You're not going to believe it. Our final stop is Zion National Park, which might be the most beautiful place in the country. At least, it's the most stunning place I've ever seen. I come from Florida, which is beautiful in its own way, but it's nothing but flat, completely flat. The closest thing we've got to a mountain is a garbage dump. You've got your blue waters and your green trees. Its beaches are the best in the world, but it's truly nothing compared to the awe-striking beauty in the West. The whole landscape is so bright and clear, and the scale is absolutely massive. There are mountain faces bigger than whole cities, and wide open skies. You've got your blues and greens, but you've also got your reds and oranges, and every color in between. It's breathtaking, like nothing else I've ever seen in my life. Once we get into the park, my dad hangs back on the ground while I decide to hike Angel's Landing, which is considered to be one of the hardest hikes in America. With a really steep drop-off, it's also one of the scariest.